Good evening and welcome to the FITT Show, financial information for today and tomorrow. I'm Bobby Kinzer.
And I am Thomas Doty.
And we are the FITT Show, here every Thursday at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Last week, we talked about how to buy and sell stocks. Well, not just stocks, but investments, but particularly stocks and bonds and mutual funds. But this week, because of the season that we're entering into, we want to talk about holiday spending and compulsive buying. Now, this is the time of the year that a lot of retailers and marketeers are starting to come at you. I mean, some stores are already putting up Christmas decorations and lighting and even putting out Christmas products to be selling. And we know after Thanksgiving, the next day, the big day for buying, and getting the hookup, as they call it, is Black Friday. So we thought we'd talk today about, the ups and downs and the challenges of holiday spending and especially compulsive buying. But as we always start off, we like to ask you, can you please click on the like button as many times as you can to help us get traction, and the heart. And please, we like to make this interactive. So if you have some comments or you have some questions, please put them in the comment box. And we would love to see where you are watching from, if you're watching, and from where you're watching, because we have a lot of people from all over the world tuning in. So what we like to do, we start our segments off. We're going to be doing a segment. We're starting all our segments off with an update with the markets. So, Doe, what's been going on with the markets this last time we talked?
It's been a crazy week. Dow's down about 500 points over the last week. Had one up day, 4 days that were down. It's really been erratic and not for the faint of heart. But as we always say, these things are going to happen. You just have to be patient. And in some cases, you can look for buying opportunities, but just do not panic, because the inflation information came out, the market reacted, and that's kind of what's going on now. NASDAQ only went down about 300 points, from about 16,000 to about 15,700. And I almost had a heart attack. Some of my big holdings actually had large drops. Microsoft, which is my biggest holding, only went down about 4 or 5 points over the week. But Tesla went from 1222 to 1061, a drop of 161 points. Again, not for the week of heart, but I mean, I bought it at 584, so I'm still way up, so I'm not sweating too much. And your thought might be, well, why didn't you sell when it was way up? And there's a couple of reasons why I didn't. One is I'm not sure what else I would buy at this point, and two, because I think Tesla is going to continue to go up. Could be wrong, but I'm thinking it will. My other big holding, Upstart, which got as high as 325, it ended up dropping 79 points down to 246. And that one's a little scary. And I thought about selling, but I think I'm going to hold on to that one too. And the stock that I bought most recently was Pfizer. Over the last week, it went up a couple points. And again, that's a stock I bought because the dividend payment on that is over 3%. So that's kind of a more of an income generator, and I'm still looking for some upside in that stock. So a crazy week on the street. Just be patient, and hopefully things will calm down a little bit. Bob, what about how'd your crypto do this week?
Man, cryptocurrency was all over the place. Bitcoin went up to, I think its highest, it went up to $67,000 per Bitcoin, and now it's down today to like $64,000 a Bitcoin. But about 2014, I think it was like at $130. So everybody's talking about this new Bitcoin called Shiba. And no one knows. They come out of nowhere. It's supposed to be some out of India, and the symbol is some kind of dog, but it's off the charts. And the value of it right now is as 0.000. That's 4 zeros. 48. I mean, that's less than a penny. But if you buy a lot of shares, people have been seeing it go up. But with all cryptocurrencies, they go as fast as they go up, and fast as they go down. Then there's these things called NFTs, non-fungible tokens. They like digital ads making like a artwork. You can own a piece of an artwork now with cryptocurrency, which is called digital non-fungible tokens. And this one particular one called Cat Girl, once again, is just a card with about 4, 5, 6 different baseball cards of this Cat Girl. And I knew a person's friend put in $3,000 and it went up to $180,000. But you know what, though? What people don't understand about cryptocurrency, you got to know how to be able to get out. Because just because you in some exchanges, you can exchange it to what they call fiat currency, which is the dollar. And then if you buy fractional shares like of the Bitcoin, because most people don't have 67,000 to buy one Bitcoin, you really owning a piece of Bitcoin. Some exchanges don't let you exchange fractional shares. So you stuck. You may have $180,000, but if you can't get to it and get it converted into dollars, you left holding the bag. So, but the cryptocurrency though is jumping off the mark. But out of the top 20 cryptocurrencies though, only 2 of them are selling above $1,000, and that's Bitcoin and Ethereum, which is like smart contracts. And they usually say stick with the top 10 because those usually have, a structure to them. There, some of them are stable coins, which is pegged to $1. But that's what you need to watch out for. But just remember, you all, Bitcoins, cryptocurrency is highly speculative. And this is what I tell people that ask me, what do you think about investment? I said, this is the game. Think about what you're willing to lose. They said, why are you being so negative? I said, well, that's how you need to go about it. If willing to lose whatever you put in there, you have the attitude that you're willing to lose it, that's your best bet, because you should be putting your rent money, your car loan and student loan money into it, or your 401k money. No, let me tell you what's going on, man. Inflation is jumping off the chain. So a lot of people say, why should we pay attention to inflation? Because inflation drives the market. Inflation is basically another roundabout way is this cost of goods. Now, last time I talked to you, I told you went from 2% for 10 years up to 5%. This week is up to 6.2% inflation. That means the cost of goods are going up. That's the highest it's been in 30 years. So right now, statistics are showing an average. Milk is up 28 cents a gallon. Ground beef is up 66 cents a pound. Gas is up $1.23 a gallon, and that's the highest since 2014, though. Used cars are up 26%. And holiday travel for a round trip ticket has gone up by $300. That's 23% for Thanksgiving. And they're saying for Christmas, on average, a round trip ticket has gone up an extra $500. So, that's why we are talking today about, holiday spending and compulsive buying. And, let's just get right to it, though. Let's talk a little bit about compulsive buying, because a lot of people deal or don't even know. I mean, let me tell you, compulsive buying can wreck your finances. It can ruin people's lives. And for most people, a trip to the mall could be harmless, though. But it is estimated that 2 to 8% of people are afflicted with compulsive buying disorders. A lot of people don't even know about it, you know. But so we're going to talk a little bit about it because I mean, people be overspending at malls and shopping online, even bargain hunting at backyard garage sales is addictive and can be a serious financial, emotional consequence from that, though. So let's talk a little bit about that.
Let's give some questions, and if you answer these questions in the affirmative, then you may be a compulsive buyer. You want to show the chart?
Yeah, because most people don't realize that they are, though. Do you see it?
Yeah, it's up. To determine if you are a compulsive buyer, let's go through some of the questions. Do you buy things you want, whether or not you can afford them at that particular moment? Question number one. Do you buy things to cheer yourself up or to reward yourself? Do you struggle paying your bills because you always seem to be living on the edge financially? Do you tend to keep buying more of your favorite things, even if you may not have a specific need for them? And finally, if you have to put off buying something you want, do you end up mad at yourself or like very angry? And that's another question. So if you answered any of those yes, you may have an issue that you need to deal with. And like anything else, unless you deal with it, it's going to continue to cause you trouble. And you need to find out the root of it and get it under control if you really want to get around to building wealth, because you're just going backwards if you're overspending.
And you may not have this these have to yes to any of these questions, but you may know somebody, your spouse, your kid, your friend could possibly. See, the difference between a shopper who jokes about retail therapy and the individual for whom shopping has been destructive is like 1 degree difference. Experts say the compulsive disorder basically is a preoccupation with shopping for unneeded items and the ability to resist purchasing such items. Individuals who get emotional highs from spending only feel guilty and depressed afterwards. So, dope. Let's talk about some of the following tips on how to implement and maintain constructive financial behaviors. Now, we're talking about this mainly in this period of time because the holidays really can bring this on, but it just doesn't pertain to the holidays. This could be, throughout your life. So if you're experiencing these kind of things, one of the first thing is with anything, you must acknowledge a problem. There's an old saying, not everything we face we can change, but you cannot change anything unless you face it. So compulsive spenders often lie to their families and themselves about their addictions. So talk to your loved ones, and list, your support for them. Or if you're dealing with it, list support from them. So this could actually be very destructive to your relationships and your marriages. And so, stay away from getting angry because a lot of times it can cause conflicts, But first, at least face the problem. Second, get a reality check. To get a realistic picture of the extent of your spending, carry a small notebook with you for a month or even a week. Write down everything you buy. You'll be shocked sometimes at the amount of things that you bought over a week or even a month. Then go back and analyze your habits. Write them down. Do you see repetitive spending for items that you don't really need? In addition, take an inventory of your possessions. Do you own items that you've never used? Then these can serve as clues that you may be overspending. Third, begin with a single step. The journey of 1,000 miles begins with the first step. Changing your behavior is never easy. And that's what we talked about. We talked about specifically to financial behaviors. Any behavior is usually hard. And the hardest behavior to change, though, is a bad behavior. So the idea of overcoming a spending addiction can be overwhelming, and that you may be discouraged from taking on the task at all. Instead, think of recovering from a compulsive buying disorder as a process that is to be undergone at one step at a time. Victories often can be defined modestly, giving yourself confidence to continue working towards the goal of a healthy financial future.
Another thing you might want to do is look at the past for insights about the future. Think about how you spent money. You can look through what you have and see what you misspent money on, and try to think of the emotional reasons why you might have developed this unhealthy behavior. And then take a look at 10 years down the road, and if you continue along the path you're on, think about the situation you'll be in 10 years from now, continuing that same path. Use that mental picture as motivation to take action and make some changes. We always talk about having financial goals. Write down your goals, put them in a place where they're prominent. Wrap them around your credit card. So when you pull your credit card out, you can take a look at your goals. That might remind you of what you're giving up if you decide to spend on something that you really hadn't planned to spend on. Think about how that's going to keep you from reaching your goals. We've talked before about distinguishing wants versus needs. Needs are things you have to have. Wants are reactions, okay? Try to put an emphasis on buying things that you really need, rather than things that it's just a temporary want. Having a plan is going to help you get there and stay focused. Make sure you spend appropriately.
Next.
Go ahead, Bob.
Yeah, sorry. So next, limit your access to money. Sometimes the best way to curb bad financial habits is to set up roadblocks to help deter the compulsion. Consider limiting your access to the money even further by putting it into a separate account in the name of your spouse or other trusted loved ones. You can also put yourself on a small weekly cash allowance. Another option is to cut up your credit cards and close the accounts to prevent yourself from racking up more debt. Or just, keep just one credit card for emergencies and leave it at home when you go to the store or run errands. Ask someone else in your family to help you. Always look for support, and that always really helps people. Next, find healthy substitutes. When buying compulsion hits, experiment with healthier alternatives. For example, declare a mall-free weekend and plan a hike with the family instead. Go for a bike ride, dig in the garden, visit the library, volunteer at a community center. You decide what works best for you. And lastly, resist buy messages. What I mean by that is advertisers spend millions of dollars researching ways to get us to buy by appealing to deep-seated desires for freedom, status, acceptance, and other rewards. We're constantly bombarded with emotionally charged images of wealth and extravagance that imply success or spark envy. The more you recognize advertising for what it is, an attempt to manipulate behavior, the better you be able to resist the message of buy, buy, buy. It's difficult to ignore advertising. If it's difficult to ignore advertising, turn it off. Turn off or mute the television during commercials and throw away those mail order catalogs or newspaper advertising inserts without looking at them. Avoid TV shopping channels and internet retail sites. These are just some tips we just recommend to deal and to maintain constructive financial behaviors, especially in these times of the holidays and spending.
let's talk a minute about savers and spenders. That's kind of sums up where you are if you're saving money or if you're spending money. Spenders receive short-term satisfaction, getting an object they want immediately. Okay. Savers save for items, appreciate them, and are not impulsive. Spenders have little money in the bank because they spend their money on pricey things. They're in debt, have no money to set aside for the rainy day. Where savers have money in the bank because they know how to manage their funds and they're prepared for financial emergency. We're trying to get you to be more of a saver, less of a spender. Realize there's a fine line there. We're not trying to say you save every penny you make and not enjoy yourself, but make sure you stay within your own personal guidelines.
Hey, Dope, just wanted for a quick minute to give a shout out to people who are watching us out there. We appreciate y'all for joining us. Make sure if you're on YouTube, you go and subscribe to our channel. And if you're on Facebook Live, share it with other people. I'd like to shout out to a wonderful, marvelous Garnett Nickens and say hello to Now. What's up, Now? Dodie. And James Gillis. And my man, Dope. I went to elementary school, junior high school with this guy. No, I take that back. I went to elementary school. He ended up going to McFarland and Roosevelt, which was in my neighborhood. But it's Anthony Greenhill. So welcome. And oh man, and Bill Malone. Oh my God. What's up, Bill? Good to see you. So Dope, let's share with people some of the 9 tips to smart holiday spending. Now, there's several different kinds of ways that help, but we just came up with 9. The first one is be organized and create a spending plan. Before shopping, develop a budget, a shopping list, and some backup gift ideas in case you cannot find or afford your first choice. The better you plan, the less you are likely to spend. Be sure to include the cost of food, holiday decorations, travel, entertainment, wrapping, shipping, and postage. Second, stay within your spending limits and beware of the buy now, pay later offers. You know, remember back in the day, though, that was also called layaway. So stay with that, and sure, it sounds appealing, but if you can't afford an item in December or November, you probably won't be able to afford it in March when the bills arrive. Determine the amount you will spend for each person on your list. Carry your gift list with you to track purchases and stop when you are done. Thirdly, balance your checkbook. A lot of people don't have a checkbook. Everybody doing it online. Well, balance your accounts online if you're not doing the old-fashioned way. When shopping with a debit or credit card, subtract the balance from your checking account just as if you were writing a check. This helps you avoid overdrafts and overspending. Keep all holiday receipts and store them in one place.
Think twice before you buy. Do not overextend your credit. Before you buy something, ask yourself if it's appropriate for the recipient and it's within your price range. If it's not within your price range, don't buy it, especially if you're not paying with cash. Try to limit your credit card use. Only use a couple of credit cards. That will make it easier to keep track of what you're spending. Think about providing a gift of a personal service, creating a gift certificate that's for babysitting service or home cooked meal, house cleaning, homework or tutoring assistance. You know, your precious time and presence may be worth more than any money that you could spend, and it may save you money. Look for sales, start early, keep your receipts. Last minute shopping is usually very expensive. You know, shop for sales, use coupons, and don't hesitate to return a gift if you exceed your budget.
Next, keep your personal information safe. Now, this is the time of the year that all the identity theft people are out there because all your information out there, everybody's shopping, going to every store, swiping their cards at Walmart, swiping their cards at Macy's, swiping their cards at Home Depot. And a lot of people are out there trying to get your information. So review your accounts for unauthorized transactions in a timely manner and reduce your liability. And it reduces your liability in the cases of fraud. And make sure you shred or tear up all your receipts. So when you no longer need them, to prevent identity theft from thieves, who what they call dumpster divers. They actually dive in dumpsters for personal information. And what they do, they try to put all your information together. They might get information from a letter over here. They might get information off of advertising for a credit card here, and they put it all together, and that's how they steal your identity. When shopping online, on the internet, stick with merchants you trust and avoid responding to unsolicited mail, even emails and phone call offers. Another one, a lot of people using these cash apps. The key to cash apps is you should not be cash apping to money to people you don't know, because once it's gone, it's gone. There's no 1-800 number to call for customer service to see what happened to your money. But the one sure way to make sure you're safe when you're doing cash apps, make sure you know the person on the other side who you're sending that money to. Now, have a grab bag holiday. What that means, if you have a large family, consider drawing names and giving one gift per person. You not only spend less, and I know some of y'all done this, some of y'all done what they call the thieving elves, game, but you will have more time to devote to finding the right present for that particular person if you just select and do the grab bag. Also, they call them white elephant parties, where everyone brings one gift within a specific price range for exchange, and you also can have fun. Lastly, wait for the sales. Now, this is a tough one because a lot of people try to get out there and get ahead and want to get a person a gift on that day. But if you can wait for the sales, put off most gift giving until after the holidays. And guess what? You end up getting all the advantage of all after holiday sales. Make agreements in advance with certainly family and friends to exchange gifts after the holiday. This is a good little strategy. I'd like to say hello out there to my man Charles McCargo, Clutch, our frat brother, and one of my great friends, especially in entertainment, one of the baddest DJs and entertainers in the land, Cosmo De Facto. What's up, Cosmo? And the wonderful orator and greatest Toastmaster in the land, Kitty Cheney. I'd like to say hello. And I just want to say hello to those people. And Lynette McMillan, how are you doing out there? So, dope. These are some of the tips that we want to share with people. And I hope we went through a whole list of them. And these sessions are recorded. So if you didn't get some of those and you want to go back and get some of those tips, go back and they recorded on Facebook Live. They recorded on Facebook under the FITT Show. And you can go into the videos and you get all the archive videos. Also, they're archived on YouTube and you can go get them. So some of those tips you want to, check in on, please go out there and check it out. So with that dope, let's bring it on home with our summary and takeaways, which is pretty simple.
Yeah, understand yourself and your spending. You should know what things trigger you to spend money and work hard to avoid those, whether that be setting goals, writing reminders, putting your credit cards up. Do whatever it takes to keep you within your spending goals. And right now, these are tough times because people are, especially retailers, are trying to make up for the money they've lost during this pandemic. So everybody is offering quote unquote deals to get you to spend your money. This is when you really have to stay strong and stick to your budget, or you'll be starting the year off behind the 8 ball.
Find a happy medium between spending and savings. We're not saying you got to be a hermit or you got to be just Scrooge and don't spend. But we want you to enjoy your life. But find that sweet spot that works for you. And like we always say, if you have a plan, if you make a budget, if you establish financial goals and stay within them, then you will find a place where you can actually, spend a little money here, go buy, some shoes, or go on a trip. But the whole key to this is actually put that spending in check and enjoy your life.
And to sum it up, just be smart this holiday season. Don't overextend yourself. Keep track of the thieves and the scam artists out there. Keep your controls on your money from a internet perspective and from a scam perspective, and try to set some goals so you can start the new year off building wealth. That's what you should be trying to do. You don't want to start the new year in a hole with a whole bunch of bills from Christmas, and you just want to start the year off right. So just be smart this holiday season.
So with that dope, and look, we got a lot of people out there checking us out today. Another one of the baddest basketball players out of the DC area, my main man Guy Arnold's watching, and high school buddy Sam Jack is tuning in. Cosmo De Facto said, "Man, I put you two professionals out to my friends and clients because people need to hear this. I wish my mom could hear this because she sits in front of the TV ordering online, then calling her tight pocket son to get things she needs." Cosmo, you always been a tight mug. Stop it. Stop that foolishness. But so these are just some of the tips, you all. Make sure you check us out. We're here every Thursday at 8 p.m. Financial information for the day and tomorrow. We're just trying to educate our people because we know that knowledge is power. And we just want to share this. So look, make sure y'all share when you go out there on Facebook, when you go into people's, you can go into people's comment box and you can go into your box, like what's on your mind, and you just put people's names that are on Facebook, and this automatically links them to our show. If you go into the comment box when you're in on our show on the FITT Show right now on my personal Facebook, or if you go to our FITT Show Facebook page, all you do is put in the box what's on your mind. You put the people's names, and that actually links you to our show. So thank you, everybody. Make sure you control that spending. And like we had talked about the market, we always talk about the market. The market was down, but it was up today, though, wasn't it?
No, Dow was down. NASDAQ was up.
NASDAQ was up. I'm sorry. Right. I knew one of them was up. But the name of the game, you all, is consistently investing, consistently looking at your budget, consistently looking over your goals, and being disciplined. Because without discipline, academic education is a waste. So stay tuned. Thank you all. Dope. Thank you, my brother. As always, you're always on point.
Peace.
And you just a daggone mathematical genius. So love you all. Peace be with you. Stay tuned next week.